Hey friends, it's John. You're the JRB Tree Climbing channel. I get this question quite a bit, and that is, how do I attach my throw line or my paracord preset to my climbing rope? Well, if you've watched my prior videos, you know that in a hunting situation, I prefer not to tie any knots if I can avoid it. And so I typically have my climbing rope prepared with either one of my JRB end loops, or you've seen me use a brass boat clip on the end, or you could use a sonai, anything at all that will avoid needing to tie a knot, potentially in the dark, potentially in conditions where it's really cold and you need to use gloves. But you might not have all that figured out, or you might just be trying out a rope for the very first time. You might be in an arborist climbing situation where typically those implements aren't in place. So here is the method that I came up with. So the first off, if you want to tie this, remove your throw ball or work with the other end of the line. One of the reasons I don't use an excessive amount of throw line when I rig trees for purposes of saddle hunting. You can do this, and I'll show you both ways, with either 2 bull hitches in series or 2 clove hitches in series. And I have a prior video which shows you how to tie in one video the clove hitch, the girth hitch, the bull hitch, the buffalo hitch. I show you all that in one video. But the nice thing about the bull hitch is I can tie it without looking at it. It's just so easy to tie. I didn't need to look at that, and I put the end of my rope through the bull hitch and slide it down a little bit. And then, just a few inches away, I tie a second bull hitch. And again, I don't need to look at this to make sure I got it right. And put that through the end. I put the second bull hitch close, very close to the end, and the second one a short distance away, ensuring that there's some tension in the line between the two. So there's 2 bull hitches in series. And with high reliability, that's going to just go right up and over that tree crotch. Okay, let's do it again. And this time we'll use 2 clove hitches. I'm not saying one's better than the other, and maybe I'm just good at the bull hitch, but I find the bull hitch to be just a little bit easier to use when you've got gloves on. And of course it just pops right out. So let's this time tie a clove hitch. So there's a clove hitch. Put the rope through, cinch it, and again, same deal, move it a few inches and create a second clove hitch. Maybe I'm just not that good at the clove, or maybe the bull's easier, but this works great as well. I'll put the second clove hitch really close to the end, tighten both of them, and that's going to go up and over the crotch with high reliability. Yeah, it's possible one clove might do the trick, and it's possible that one bull might do the trick, but not with high reliability. Okay, I'm going to run down into the knot lab and show you that in detail. Okay, so we've gotten our throw ball through the tree crotch, and when I'm rigging up my rope, I never leave the throw ball on. I always take it off. By whatever means yours is detachable, I'll just go ahead and work with the other end of my throw line. I always have a nice double bowline on both ends of my throw line so I can alternate sides. So quick review, some methods I've already showed you. Here's a brass boat clip which is tied onto the end of the rope with a cable tie. And of course a sewn eye would work the same way, but I just put that on, and that'll go through the tree crotch with high reliability. If you don't have one of these brass boat clips, and they're available in stainless steel as well, there's other options with miniature carabiners. Here's a really nice small one I just recently purchased at Rock & Arbor. I do like to have locking carabiners. This happens to be a screw lock, but any of these options is viable. So I'll take that, and here's another option. Here's my JRB end loop, piece of paracord. See my prior video on the JRB end loop and how I created it. But I can rig that into the tree quite easily using one of these carabiners. I didn't take the time to lock that. in the interest of time, but you get the idea. And if you didn't have a carabiner or wanted a no metal option, the easiest way to tie this onto an end loop is with the running highwayman's hitch. So this is just a review. You could see the prior video on the running highwayman's hitch, but pass a good, nice, long 16-inch or so working end through the loop. I place a small bite over the standing part. I go around the back and over that bite and then through that bite. So that's the running highwayman's hitch, and you recall it's lockable. I can pass this end through here and lock it, but I find in rigging scenarios it's not even necessary. Not even necessary. That's going to go up and through the tree crotch. And when I want to get it apart, I simply pull on this. I like options that work even in the dark and even with my gloves on. But none of that is our primary reason for this video. That was just a review. We're actually going back to basics here. Here's the throw line. This could be paracord. Here's the rope. I want to attach them in a foolproof manner. So see my prior video on the clove hitch, the girth hitch, the bull hitch, and the buffalo hitch. But I'll start with 2 bull hitches in series. So how do we create? We start by creating a girth hitch, right? We could all create a girth hitch in our sleep, right? That's a simple girth hitch. A bull hitch, we transform a girth hitch into a bull hitch by taking one of the 2 loops and placing it inside the other one and around 360 degrees. Now we have formed a bull hitch. Take my rope, place it through, doesn't matter which way. I'll place that a few inches from the end and I'll cinch it on there. So now this holds. I don't have to worry about dropping anything. And I simply repeat the process. I'll create a second bull hitch. Starts with a girth hitch. Take one loop, place it under and around 360 degrees, and place the end of the rope through that bull hitch. This one will be affixed close to the end of the line. And I want tension. I want some tension. So it's always better for it to appear in this configuration than this configuration. We want tension on the throw line. And the distance here, that doesn't really matter. This is pretty small. This is probably only about 3 inches. That could be 6 inches. It could be a foot. It's still going to work. Okay, and that's my preferred method. And like I said earlier, it might just be that I'm good at it, and it might be that it's easier, but I find that to be easier to tie, especially with gloves on. Take it off, pop it out. Let's repeat the process. This time we'll use a clove hitch. Again, as a review on the clove hitch, you can use underhand or overhand loops, whatever you choose. Make 2 of them. So here's loop, a second one, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to place it. See what I did? I reoriented it. So the one on top becomes the one on bottom. And that is a basic clove hitch. Put the end through, cinch it, and create a second clove hitch. That's an overhand loop, a second overhand loop. Take the upper one, reorient it. So these, I introduced those hitches in one video because I do consider them part of the, your foundation of knowledge as a knot tire. You really want to have them in your arsenal. So once you've got that orientation, it's going to go through high reliability. And it stands to reason. I can't say I've ever done this. I generally use the bull, but you could tie one of each if you want to get better at tying your knots and do so in a practical fashion. Practice them. Well, you could practice by making a bull hitch first, doing it at real time here, and then you can make the second one a clove hitch. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a clove hitch. And then you could decide which one you're better at tying. I just find bull to be slightly easier, but clove will be slightly lower profile. And see, when I tie it that way and I make sure there's tension on the throw line, it tends to orient the end of the rope in an upward fashion such that as it approaches the tree crotch under tension, it's always in a good orientation. And I can flip that through. Okay, well there you have it. That is my preferred method, my tricks for getting a throw line or paracord attached to your climbing rope and up and through tree crotch. Thank you very much.